All right, welcome back to the second video about data boxing. If you've not seen the first video, we are having a fight between Oscar Bonavena and Alexander Povetkin. They have been matched randomly in my 128 boxer single elimination tournament. And in the first video, we talked about how to set this fight up. And you'll see that all you see right now is the two boxer cards, the exchange card chart where we track their exchanges, and the score sheet. And actually for 90% of the time, 95% of the time, that's all you need in data boxing. All the cards are very self-contained. The only time you're going to refer to some outside charts is if we trigger some changing point. If somebody's TKO resistance goes down or if somebody's power rating gets reduced, then we'll have to refer back to the charts, or if you wanted to check on how many points certain blow scores, it's on the chart. But most of the time you can just read right off the player cards and you mark the exchanges, and right on the score sheet I'm going to show how I use the score sheet for these first two rounds. One mistake I made at the end of that first round, or the end of the first video, was we determined that Povetkin was going to lead every round because he is a C2, a C plus rated boxer versus a C for Bonavena. So he's going to lead every round, and we rolled one exchange that didn't score any points. But Povetkin's on the left and Bonavena's on the right. And for some reason, I don't know, all boxing games, including the data boxing computer game, Glory Days Boxing, Legends of Boxing, Title Bout 2, Main Event, whatever, the first boxer, Boxer A, is always red, and the second boxer, Boxer B, is always blue. So when Povetkin done his miss, I should have actually moved this blue token instead, and then it would go to Bonavena's turn. And before I start rolling the dice, I just want to do a little prediction of how I think this fight will go based on their cards that we have out here. As I mentioned in the first video, due to the defensive ratings of both of these guys, they're really hard to put down. That reflects their real life tendencies. Povetkin's only lost 3 fights, and 2 of them were by knockout. So he's got 30 wins and 3 losses, so he's hard to put down. And Bonavena went the distance. He had 9 losses, and only one of them was a TKO to Ali in the 15th round when he had 3 knockdowns. That's sort of reflected right here in his power rating of -2 for round 15. This is going to be a 12-round bout, so he doesn't have to worry about that tonight. Although both of these fighters have cards with 72 points of scoring, as we mentioned last time, Povetkin has a -1 at the 16, so that's basically going to knock him down to a 69 instead of a 72. So the way I see this fight going is mostly there'll probably not be a knockout or a TKO, since Povetkin's at his 30 and not his out-of-shape 15. So it'll probably go the distance, and in that I think I favor Bonavena because of his defensive power rating that will lower Povetkin's scoring, and his greater TKO rating, which means he'll be able to soak more punishment longer than Povetkin. The one thing that Povetkin's really going to look for is in the second and third rounds. He has a control rating of +1 and a power rating of +1. If we get to the second round, I'll try to get to the second round. I'll show how that works. that might be his opening to try and put some damage on Bonavena that will carry him through the rest of the fight. We'll see how that goes. So the first exchange has already been rolled. Povetkin rolled a miss, and then that would go to Bonavena now. He rolls a 9. That's a blank. He loses an exchange, goes to Povetkin. And of course, these dice are rolling fast. He has a 9. So a lot of times there's a lot of nothing happening in rounds. Bonavena has a 5. That's a blank. Ooh, Povetkin has a 4. So Povetkin will score 2 points. And I'll mark that here, that he got 2 points. And a possible injury. So we're going to roll on Bonavena's, and that was an exchange for him. And we'll roll on Bonavena's card, and it's going to need a 14, 15, or 16 to match that injury. And that was a 7. So he does not get the injury, but he does get 2 points. And because he scored points, he will retain control, he being Povetkin. So Povetkin will now roll again on his card. He got a 12. That's nothing. Bonavena. 7. So this is weights, which is a control. That will get Bonavena a half point. I just unmark a half point with a little slash like that. And since he did score something, he's going to hold on to control and roll again off his card. He got 8 and 5 is 13. He scores a point. And we'll hang on to the control. $12 is nothing. Whoa, Povetkin scores a big one with the 3. So he has TKO, N1, and cut on his card. So I'm going to roll. This N1 would be in effect because he has not knocked down Bonavena in this round. If Bonavena had rolled a 3, then the K would have been active because that's for K0 or K1. TKO would have been active. Cut would have been active. N2 would not have been active for Bonavena because that only comes in effect if you've knocked your opponent down once or more. So that wouldn't even count for him. But because this is a N1 for Povetkin, that will count. And we roll on Bonavena's card. And we have a 13. So that is an N, which means he didn't hit on the cut and he didn't hit on the TKO, but he knocks down Bonavena in round 1. So what we do there, that is a time when we'll go to this chart here for the knockdown count. We roll 2 dice for that. A 10, a 0 count. So Bonavena just bounced right back up off the canvas after that knockdown. But that is still going to score Povetkin 4 points. I will do like Dr. Compton used to do and mark it with a little down arrow to note he knocked down his opponent in that round. Now, because Bonavena got knocked down in this round, he has a special defensive condition, which means if Povetkin rolls another knockdown chance in this round, Bonavena is automatically going to go down because there's no power reduction yet because everybody's TKO resistance is at top. But note that if Povetkin rolled a 3 again, that N1 wouldn't take an effect now because he's already got one knockdown. That actually gets canceled out for the rest of the fight now. He would need a 17 to knock him down a second time, because that N there is an N1 or N2. It's N is shorthand for N1 or N2. So Povetkin is still in control. He just knocked down Bonavena, and he gets a 12, and he does not score then. Bonavena gets a 9, nothing. Povetkin gets a 9, nothing. Bonavena gets a 13. He's going to score 1 point. And retain control. So it's Bonavena still. He gets a 15. That is a miss. Povetkin gets a 6. Is a miss. And then finally we'll end with Bonavena with a 14. So Bonavena will score 2 points for sure. And then he has his chance of knocking down Povetkin with this N1, because he has not knocked Povetkin down yet. So I guess there's more action in this first round than I expected. So a 10 on the defense means there is no knockdown. He would have needed a 13, 14, or 15 to get knocked down, but that he does get the 2 points, and that will end the round. So what I do after a round is over is I keep track of the running points of the round. So he scored 2 points and 4 points on the knockdown for a 6 is the running total. So that 6 is going towards this TKO resistance of Bonavena of 18. And Bonavena scored 2, 3, 4.5 points. I just use a dash for a half point. And we'll look, are there any carryover effects from that knockdown of Povetkin? Of Bonavena. After a knockdown, you have to be within the TKO resistance. He didn't get anywhere close to 18 points against him. So he will not have any carryover effects and into the next round. And because this N2 for same round week, if Povetkin knocked him, got a knockdown roll again, this would not, he'd have to roll against the defense again. This only is in effect for that same round. So the second round of the fight, there is 9 exchanges for both fighters. Povetkin will lead. And this time he has, in the second round, Bonavena has a +1 power rating, and Povetkin has both a +1 power rating and a +1 control rating. A control rating is used when you roll the diamond. If you roll the diamond and you have a control rating for that round, you don't score any points, but you hang on to control and you roll again off your card again. The power rating lets me, on any dice roll I choose, I get to take one of the dice and set it to any value I want. Most of the times you'll want to set the dice to a 6 and then roll the other 2 dice, because that'll increase your chances of getting a good power blow or points blow that are usually concentrated at the bottom of the card. Sometimes you may want to roll low if, for instance, something had been canceled out down below, but it's up here. You might roll a 1 instead. But most of the times with a power rating, you're going to set it to the die to 6. if you had a +2 for a round, you could actually set 2 of the dice to 6. If you had a +3 or greater, you do not get to set all 3 dice. You always have to roll at least 1 die, but that means on another dice roll on your turn, you could set the die again to 6. And now the question becomes, well, when would you use that? Right away on the first blow? Because of Bonavena's and N2 same round weak, I'm kind of leaning towards saving Povetkin's power roll to see if he can get Bonavena down on the mat again and then use the power blow. I just have to make sure that I use it before the exchanges run out. So I'm going to hold off on that for Povetkin. He's just going to roll 3 dice to start the second round. And he rolls an 11, which is a miss. Bonavena is going to show off his power roll so you can see how it works. He'll use it right away. And he got a 13 out of that, so he scores 1 point. And gets to keep control, but now he's used his 1 power rating for that round. Bonavena rolls a 9, that's a miss. Povetkin rolls a 12, that's a miss. Bonavena rolls an 8, that's a miss. So a lot of times you can get through a round of data boxing, even though there's maybe, 9, 18 exchanges, as fast as you can roll the dice and write on the score sheet because everything's right on the boxer cards. 12 for Povetkin is a miss. Bonavena with a 7. That was a 2, trust me. So he waits. That gets him half a point. And he gets to roll again. Uh-oh. That is, 15. That's a miss. So now Povetkin is looking, and Bonavena, with a couple of lucky rolls, could run the round out. Plus, Bonavena is ahead by 1.5, so now I think Povetkin will use his power blow now that he has a turn to roll again and hope for something good. He doesn't get anything good. He gets a 9, and it's back to Bonavena. 7 is another half point. Bonavena will roll again. 11, that's a miss. But you can see even those half points, he's eating up the round and taking away Povetkin's chances to score points. Povetkin with an 11, nothing. Uh, 9 for Bonavena is nothing. And Povetkin has not rolled a 10, so he hasn't even got a chance to use that. 7 is a miss, and Bonavena is going to end the second round with a 10. He does not have a control rating, so he will not, it doesn't matter anyway. That's the last thing. So in this round, Povetkin does not score any points against Bonavena, so he's still only got 6 against him. And Bonavena has scored 2 points, so he's at 6.5 points. Now, I do not do judge and referee scoring on the fly. I like leaving it ambiguous until I get to the end if I need to figure out who's ahead. I mean, if there's a knockdown or a knockout or a TKO, then obviously I don't need to worry about the judges' scores. But I kind of like to leave it ambiguous so that I'm not really sure who's winning, and then I can check the scorecards at the end. So I'm not going to actually demonstrate the referee and judges scoring at this time, and I'm going to wait on the third round for the next video when Povetkin will again get another power rating and another control rating, and hopefully he'll make more use out of it that time. Right now, it looks like 1 round apiece to both of them, with Povetkin maybe ahead a little bit because of the knockdown in the first round. So that is 2 rounds of data boxing. You can see that didn't take too long. Again, it's one of the great things about this game is that it is very self-contained. I only had to look at the game chart once for the knockdown count, and then to see if there was any lingering effect from the knockdown, which I didn't even really need to look at because I knew there wasn't, but I did so for demo purposes. Once again, if you have any questions, leave comments on the video, and come back for rounds probably 3, 4, 5 next time. Thanks. Bye.